I'm from Long John and White Beaters of Local Missouri. I'm from God Made Dirt and that wasn't me, Grandma. I'm from 50 Cent for the truck where profanity was the common's language. From hot chocolate and cookies fresh from the oven. No bullets or alarm clocks and like birds flying all day. I'm from New Balances and half my head down. From Band-Aids but no boo-boos. I'm from too many kids in the house. I'm from birthdays ending with whoopings. I'm from no shoes and socks outside, clad in the fire hydrant on hot summer days. I'm from ashy knees, elbows, and ankles. From those two big cornrows Grandma did.
A letter, a word, a sentence, a piece of paper, a pen, a hand, a minute, an hour, a day, a memory, a feeling, a thought, scribbles, or stumbling out, a poem. Dragonflies rest lightly on grains of rice. Golden rice bloom waves beautifully in the wind. Scarecrow looks at the dragonfly and thinks, the sky is so blue and white. Wind blows softly and touches the dragonfly's wing. Dragonfly floats up to the blue and white sky.
The nag. She nags me about my room, my hair, my clothes, my friends, and my messy bed. When will she stop? She tells me all the time to clean my room, fix my hair, iron my clothes, and make new friends and make my bed. She never stops to think about all she asks me to do. When will she go down and think the way I do?
Forget yesterday. Let it fade away. Let the old world shatter into a million pieces. Start over again. Follow your dreams. Create the perfect world for you and for me. Let the moon shine brighter. Close your eyes and hear the birds swoop by. Heed no limitations. Take a journey to this whole new world of its beauty quite unknown. Let the wind whisper words into your ears, in a language all can understand. The rich, the poor, the just, and the unjust. It all makes sense to them. Let the world be defined with invisible ink, all first impressions left behind to see what the future shall bring. Just believe in each other, and this vision shall come from within. Preach these words to the people, let them see as they might. Cross the bridge from darkness to colors that love can bring. And always remember what always shows is the love and peace for each other and the bonds that we hold.
To be in a song. To be intertwined with the meticulous melody. To ebb and flow with the rhythm. To know it's clearly polyphonic. To equate the color red with the timbre because the lyrics burn with such powerful emotion. To feel safe in its warm chorus. To be equally excited to see the vamp every time it appears. To share the vision of the song. To have the same desire to touch the listener. To be beautiful. To be art. To be content with myself. And to never want to leave this beautiful place. A song.
A cold Diet Coke after the best cigarette by Billy Collins. How often it is I yearn for one. The bright lights of the vending machines calling my attention away from my studies of mathematics. Many have comforted me in times of dire need. The cold droplets on the side of a glass bottle pressed against my forehead after a swim in the scorched sun. The bubbling fizz awakening my blood after a night of little sleep. An exam 5 minutes away. The can of Coke after tennis, dark brown liquid coating my exhausted body. How bittersweet these memories of carbonation and aspartame. The most delicious were the fountain sodas, nursing a straw with a free refill on the way, while plowing through homework, the liquid propelling me onwards to splash through fields of vocabulary and dates. Then I would be my own metro train, the caffeine propelling my attention through underground tunnels, fizzes of pop, omen that told the 20th century it was moving too quickly.
Ah, summer. I love how the sun shines down on my face with comforting warmth. How I love to feel each blade of grass between my fingers. How I love the feeling of seeing everything in much brighter color, because everything is so much more vivid under the sun's blazing rays. How I love listening to the sound of the lyrics of You Too, Sometimes You Can't Make It On Your Own, while eating a full rack of ribs. Drinking down a cold orange Gatorade. Just the smell of those slow-cooked baby back ribs falling off the bone with glossy BBQ sauce all over my mouth is enough to make me keel over. When it feels like I'm about to be set on fire, I dive bomb into a pool for a rush of coolness that spreads faster than a flood, After that, nothing beats going home and taking a nap in front of the TV. This will be a dream turned reality come summer.
To fly. A swish and a dive with a tail in the breeze, through mountains and skies with wings over seas. Oh, what to give to be friends of the birds soaring high, to flap in the clouds with the land flying by, to live in the palace of blue high above, to live with the feathered ones in blankets of love. I'd count all the shapes in the patchwork of land, and live on the winds with the sun close at hand. A glorious day when my wish does come true, but for now to hope is my only way through.
I will be reading for Anne-Marie because she's not here today. It's called Norway, an Epistle. Dear Night, I've missed you very much. This chilly summer without you makes me grow gray and dim. I miss you most at midnight, when the reflections of firs still plunge into the sea, and time is clearly marked upon the rocks. I survey the sleeping. I'll give you a quarter of my pay to take over, for I grow weary of the people in their beds. I look forward to your return, when our rendezvous will light up the sky with orange, and the animals will all remember what the rest of the world is like. Take good care of the birds for me. I'll be there to check on them soon. Forever yours at every evening, Day.
Welcome to the 21st century. Everything we do is over the phone. All of our wars are fought by drones. We don't have enough money to pay for a war. We're all too sluggish to do our chores. We sit around the TV, eating chips all day. Every word we say sounds too cliche. We don't even know where our food is grown. Maybe a factory, maybe a farm where cows roam. The cows are given hormones to bloat, which end up in our food, our mouths, our throats. Carbon dioxide pollutes our air. Acid rain is everywhere. Children sit on their butts all day. When they come home, they eat the day away. Chips, salsa, Skittles, and more. Sprite, Coke, root beer galore. There's no obesity epidemic. Gee, I wonder why. We spend hours eating with no exercise. School has become 8 hours of bore. Kids' video games are all blood and gore. The earth is getting warm. The ozone is becoming worn. Species are dying. Ice caps are frying. I guess the last generation left us a present. We need to clean up this earth and make it pleasant. We can definitely succeed and turn things around if we just help out and keep our feet on the ground.
I'll be reading for Michael Simon. 10 ways of looking at my binder. 1. Among the room, the only thing that caught my eyes was my binder. 2. I was in awe, confused. The binder could be wrapped for a pool of swimming ants. 3. It sat there like it was no use, but it was. I can open it, explain dozens of mathematical equations, and that would be good as it gets. 4. A handle and a blade are one. A handle, a blade, and a binder are one. 5. The sun filled the moon with the shadow of trees, and also the shadow of my binder. 6. Why must people carry so many papers in hand when they could be stored in a binder? 7. I have seen letters, nice letters, and I know they were written while thinking about binders. 8. I removed the binder from the table and held it in my hands. What comforts I found. 9. I watched it day by day, break down a little more. It's becoming useless, the way each day we die a little more. 10. The moon is rising. The binder must be sleeping.
With unsteady hands. Bricks stumble over one another, faltering, turning to ashen dust, the soft seams of my velvet knowing. Cement holding together a house's frail frame can disappear with heavy rain. I see how blueprints are always drawn too hastily in pen with unsteady hands. Like the unsteady, unmoving visions of the blind child touching her father's voice, who can only never imagine the redness of her mother's hair, or the liquid redness trickling from her cut knee, the thin line of wet paint coloring the bruised body. She falls from the broken manor, deserted by faltering bricks. Yet something never perfect, always whole, picked the bright red hue running down her leg, the artist who signs his work in scabs, of healing, of facing.
Swag is the way I tell my story, like my nails, shoes, and colors like purple, pink, and blue. Swag is the way people know to respect me, mom, dad, friends, and twins. Since I'm the only one standing between us, swag is the way I can stay out of trouble, since I can't speak English that well. I'm quiet, sneaky, but my swag tells the real me.
Dear TSE, today marks the 1-month period since I ran away from my mother. At times I think about her, like what does she do in her free time, being that she doesn't have to cater to me? Or will she ever understand why I chose him over her? I think about her, but I don't think of going back. She was always good to me, probably as perfect as a mother could be, but that night I just didn't want to go home. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be able to explain myself. Will she listen? Will she forgive me for being the root of her insomnia, the reason she wishes she hadn't aborted the others? I ask myself these questions. I never cared to answer them, though. Am I a bad person for being perfectly happy knowing that I hurt her? Will I go to hell because in some way I enjoy knowing that she would never rest easy, never know what happened to me? I mean, she was always good to me.
That explains it. I went to the doctor. He x-rayed my body. He stared for a moment. Then he said, you have an M14, a bazooka, a rocket launcher, and RPG-7 and 6. You have an AK-47 and 74, a Beyblade, and a Japanese stick. You have a fighter jet, an Apache helicopter, an aircraft carrier boat, a marshmallow, and a crate. You have a gate, a snake, 200 pizza boxes, and a date. You have a wet dog, a wet car, and wet grass. You have a lasso and a deadly gas. You have a ball, a wall, and a whole lot of land. You have Candyland, the game, and a full-grown man. I'm surprised you have room for any bones to keep you healthy and strong. You've eaten so many things, Mr. Shark. No wonder something's wrong.
The vow. A separation, a split. The snap of a vow, made so long ago, where love was a flower, waiting to blossom, when worries were distant and excitement was near. But now it's been cut, their lives separated and differences clear. The flowers wilted and the petals lay dry, colorless on the table. The waters evaporated, lifeless. Their children are young and oblivious, naive and confused. They don't know what made the flower wilt or why the water's gone. It's just a mystery, unanswered, unknown, unquestioned, but never forgotten.
Where I'm from the expansive suburbs of D.C. that lay out all across Maryland. I'm from the peeled paint from my porch that is still standing after 100 years. I'm from the tenuous IKEA cubbies that fill up my house. I'm from the aroma of the pepper soup that my mom makes. You can feel it like a damp mist in the air. That's how powerful it is. I'm from the lights that you can see in the distance. Crepuscular they are, like two people, one nocturnal and one not. I'm from Liberia, where my mom had to flee because of war and strife that lasted for a quarter of a century. I'm from the salty cassava leaf that my aunts make. I really, really want some. I'm from my salubrious mother and my political father that I hear every day.
My words. My words take shape through metamorphosis, but before the evolution, they are formless, like flames on top of torches, shapelessly as they shift with the wind, but are known for their potency and density, along with their flexibility, as they wrap around the subject, tangled and stuck in their stylistically unsimplicity, with a deathly grasp until its deadly gasp. My words are its demise and its revival, its return from impotency. My words' complexity is not of arrogance, but of blissful air of ignorance. My writings are cursed with wordiness. I hate to give them away, but I value them as hot commodity. Words filled with hypocrisy. They scream, practice what you preach. I preach and practice poetry so much to the point where it takes over me. It raises my soul over me to a plane where mentally my soul reaches me physically, and I am whole. I draw inspiration from all types of factions, trickling into me in a watershed fashion, from three main sources, a sort of trifecta, into one focal point before it broadens, like the Nile Delta, then narrows again, funneling phrases, tunneling, burrowing deep, inclined steep, on the rise, sturdy and solid in my mind, often too rigid to come out. Coins the phrase, writer's block. Can I commit my words to coins? My word is my honor, but the pay for my trousers that protect my loins. Which one on my behalf are my honor as well? Quiet is kept, but if I ever fell in the deepest and darkest abyss, would you be able to tell? Am I trying too hard?
My words in dire straits for complexity because I'm afraid of simplicity. Do I want y'all as perplexed as me? Sending my readers or listeners or speakers or future leaders that quote my work as an inspirational quirk into a psycho frenzy, and me standing over mangled bodies from quick words and razor-sharp wit to whip even those who've mastered archaic prose into a shape that I see fit. Antinomical to my words because their shape is ambiguous, naturally, forever, free-flowing, frivolously. My vocarious, vicious vernacular is me. If a picture is 1,000 words, a person is worth 1,000,000, and I deliver each with feeling, each delivered with soul, and as they become their own, they finally take shape. They took sort of like me in a way, a reflection of words I'm proud but too scared to say. So it will be all said and done when I leave, and when I leave, I'll leave this world a million me's.
To paint the portrait of home. Paint first the house with graffiti. The words would tell the city I lived in when I was first born. This is home. Paint next something sad, something happy. You must now go gather a paintball gun and hide behind a car. Then shoot red paint on the corners of the house. Your hardest task would be to demolish the building. Place all of the pieces of the house that have paint on them together. Do not leave out the smallest pieces. Climb another house in silence to observe what you have done. Leave the remains as it is. You will know if it's good, if the rain doesn't devour the color. Your shame will punish you if you destroy your portrait.